we divide semiconductors into two categories. Type 1 intrinsic semiconductor and type 2 extrinsic semiconductor. Pure semiconductors without doping with any other element is known as intrinsic semiconductor, that is pure form of semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductors are also called as impure semiconductors because they are doped with some other elements. Example for pure semiconductor or intrinsic semiconductor are silicon and germanium. Based on doping, extrinsic semiconductors are further divided into two types, N-type and P-type. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss intrinsic semiconductors only. Let us discuss today the topic intrinsic semiconductors. As we know, we divide semiconductors in two categories. One is intrinsic semiconductor and another one is extrinsic semiconductor. A pure semiconductor such as pure silicon or pure germanium is called an intrinsic semiconductor. So, when semiconductors are in pure form and not doped with any other elements, then they are called intrinsic semiconductor. Let us see how these intrinsic semiconductor works, or you can say characteristics of intrinsic semiconductor. As for example, I have considered silicon, one of the metalloid from the periodic table 4th A. The atomic number of silicon is 14. The electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p2. As you see, the p have a capacity to hold 6 electrons. There is a lack of 4 electrons. So, valency is 4. Silicon have 4 electrons in its outermost orbit. And it need 4 more electrons to attain stability or complete its octet. As you can see, the diagram on your screen, which is a 3D figure of silicon bonding. Every individual atom forms a covalent bond with the neighboring 4 atoms. As I said, this belongs to group 4A. Even though carbon belongs to the same group, but carbon is a non-metal and it is not a metalloid and it is not in a solid form, so we do not consider it as a semiconductor. So selectively we consider germanium and silicon as semiconductors. So I have taken example of silicon. It has the same structure as carbon have. You already studied in the previous standards. Carbon also have a same structure. Silicon, every atom of silicon forms a covalent bond with the neighboring 4 atoms. It is a 3D figure. If you draw this same figure in 2D as shown in the figure, as you can see, these are atoms of silicon. By joining each atom, it forms a silicon element. Now, if you are talking about this particular atom, what will happen? It already have 4 electron of its own. For example, you consider this belongs to this atom and this electron belongs to this atom, this electron and this electron. These 4 electrons belongs to this atom. So, by sharing 4 electrons with the neighboring atoms and completes its octet and attain stability. It happens usually at absolute zero temperature. As we have already studied in a band theory, what is semiconductor? Based on band theory, if you are going to explain semiconductor, the valence band is completely filled and conduction band is completely empty. So it happens at the absolute zero temperature. As you can see, here I have drawn energy diagram where valence band have certain electrons, means it is filled with the electrons. They are valence electrons, but conduction band is completely empty. Since there are no electrons in a conduction band, at absolute zero temperature, silicon do not conduct electricity. However, when you bring this silicon to a room temperature, what happens? At room temperature, electrons start moving from valence band to conduction band due to thermal agitation. Since silicon is at room temperature, the few electrons break their bonds with the neighboring atom and start moving here and there, and these electrons we call as a free electrons. Free electrons means it is not mean that you are going to take it out of the element. It can move within the element anywhere. So what happened? These electrons, as free to move, they start moving from valence band to conduction band. So what is final conclusion? These free electrons are responsible for the conduction in semiconductors. When these electrons move from its original place to anywhere within the element by leaving behind a hole. However, silicon is kept at room temperature. There is no need of any extra energy because of room temperature. The few electrons break their bonds with the neighboring atom and move freely within the element and also leaving behind a hole. See here, at room temperature, this electron shifted here and this is the thing. You can see here it is a hole. And one more electron shifted here because of the thermal agitation, and here it is a hole. If you want to show this diagram in energy level diagram, so this is the diagram. You can see at absolute zero temperature, valence band was completely filled and conduction band was empty. Now at room temperature, due to thermal agitation, these electrons, which electrons you can see here, they reached conduction band by leaving holes at valence band. In this case, valence band is partially filled and conduction band also, due to few electrons in it. Why we call atom as neutral? Because of number of protons is equals to number of electrons, as atom is neutral. Now what happened at room temperature? Due to thermal agitation, there is a loss of electron. You can see here free electron by leaving hole behind. We call it as a hole and we call this one as a free electron. Hole is nothing but positive charge. Electron, as you know, it is a negative charge. So whenever electron leave its position and move somewhere else, this hole is treated as positive charge. Here both holes and free electrons are known as charge carriers, because in semiconductor the total current is due to both the charges. Let us discuss in detailed manner. Because of loss of this electron, now what happened in this case? The number of proton is greater than number of electron. So atom attain, this particular atom I am talking about, attain net positive charge and show affinity to attract other electrons in this hole. Means this hole is now have a ability or affinity to attract this electron within it. As free electron is free to move within the element anywhere, like that, these holes also start moving. These holes also have a ability to move from one place to another place. What happens? Since it is a hole and have an affinity to attract negative charges, this electron jumps in this and fix over here and here, leaving behind hole. Now this electron shifted here. Now this hole have a ability or affinity to attract the neighboring electron of another atom. You can see within it and leaving hole here. This is how, as free electrons move here and there within the element, these holes are also moving from one place to another place. Now, what is the possibility of filling these holes? These holes can fill themselves by taking electron from anywhere of this element. So, what is the maximum possibility that this hole fill? So, to understand that, you connect this silicon element to an external source. Once you connect silicon to an external source, it generates electric field. As you can see on the screen, the direction of electric field is from left to right. So, this is in this direction. Let us take the example of two electrons and two holes, which is connected to the external field. Here, these are electrons and these are holes. Means they are negative charges and these are positive charges. As we have studied in the current electricity, the electrons move towards the positive terminal of the battery as they are negative charges. So, they move in this direction. And when you talk about holes, as they are holes, they are positive charges. Obviously, they move in this direction. Means the direction of holes is the direction of electric field. Since both the charges are moving in opposite direction, so current is due to both the moving charges. As you know, electrons move in this direction, so there is a generation of conventional current in this direction. Because the direction of conventional current is opposite to the direction of flow of negative charges. As we have studied in current electricity, the current is always considered as positive charge flow. So, these positive charges are moving in this direction. So, current is generated due to these holes also. So, that we call as a I2. Generated by the electrons, we call it as I1. Even though their direction is opposite, but the conventional current generated by these negative charges, and also as we have studied, current is considered as a positive charge flow and current is in this direction because of these positive holes. So, can we say I is equals to, that is total current within the semiconductor when external field is applied is nothing but I1 plus I2. Even though charges are moving in opposite direction, but the current is in the same direction. So, we can say I is equals to I1 plus I2. So, if you see this figure, suppose here it is a hole and the electron is somewhere here. Now, this hole can be filled by any neighboring electron. As electron move in this direction, so the possibility of this hole is to be filled is because of this electron. By leaving here hole once again. Now, the possibility of filling this hole as electron move in this direction, so because of this electron. And again here hole behind. So, filling of hole with some electrons is always from this direction to this, that is right to left. As you can see, hole is moving in this direction as shown in this figure and electrons are filling these holes in this direction. So this is how intrinsic semiconductor works. As total current is due to both the charges, negative as well as positive charges. That's why we call holes and electron both as charge carriers.